Hi, Stan. Good to see you.
I want to ask you to expand.
Oh, here comes the microphone.
Stanley Roth, the Boeing Company. Want to ask you to expand on one of the points you made towards the end of your speech, the State Department's whole-of-government approach to economic issues, particularly as you work on the economic recovery of the U.S., the role for trade, beyond just the reference you made to free trade agreements. Where would you like to see us end up on the trade side? But also exports, obviously, are going to be part of the recovery plan. What role do you see for yourself and the State Department in terms of commercial advocacy? It's sometimes tough, the environment faced by American business overseas.
Well, commercial advocacy is part of our list of responsibilities, as you know, and it's one that I take very seriously. But I'd like to just take a step back and look at the broader picture of the State Department's role in economic aspects of foreign policy. From my perspective, trade is a foreign policy tool as well as an economic one. And we're in the midst of looking hard at our trade policy, trying to determine how we can be more effective in making the case to the Congress and the American people about trade, but also making it clear to the rest of the world that we're a trading nation and we want to be. But we're at a point where the economic implications of foreign policy are now very heavily seen as part of the intersection of nations. I mean, the G20 is assuming greater and greater importance. I mean, you remember it started in 1998 as a result of the Asian financial crisis, and it has stayed as a player because it serves a very useful purpose. You have people at the table who before were not welcome or were not even thought of in the same breath as the United States or Great Britain or someone else. So I think that the role of the economic agenda of the State Department needs to be strengthened. We work closely with Treasury. We work closely with the National Economic Council. But I'll give you a quick example. David Lipton, who works with Larry Summers in the White House, just went to Pakistan for us to do an assessment of Pakistan's capacity to meet the IMF requirements and what it needed and how it was doing. Well, was that an economic analysis? Was that a strategic, security, political? I would argue it's all of that. So why would we say, oh, well, no, we're not going to be part of the economic mix when it's critical as to how we're dealing with other countries? Part of the reason that I worked to have our dialogue with China be inclusive and comprehensive is because strategic and economic concerns cannot be divorced. So on all of these issues, the State Department has to play a role on the economic front. And we're working very collegially with everybody. I mean, obviously, you have different perspectives, different jurisdiction. We know all of that. But there is a recognition inside this administration that it's an all-hands-on-deck, whole-of-government time. Everybody's being required to get up and do your part and redefine what it is and expand it so that you can be the most effective player possible. So I think this is just part of our responsibility now.